Complaining. Customers complaining and why you should be happy. Hi, this is Jim Gibson with Business Sense Podcast. Thank you for listening today. I appreciate it. And yes, the dreaded complaining from customers. We're going to be talking about that today and why you should be happy. I know that sounds really strange. Be happy about customers complaining? Yes, you should be. Let me tell you a story. I had a service rep talking to a customer on the phone, and I could overhear the conversation, and the service rep was getting more and more upset with the customer, and I it's shaking my head just hearing it. I waited till the conversation was over, and I called her into my office. I said, what's up? Why are you so upset with the customer? And she said, that customer was wrong. That customer was wrong. I was trying to explain to her the difficulties we were having in that system and why it wasn't our fault. And I said, whoa, that's not the way you handle customers. Not that customers are always right. You know, I hear people say that, well, you know, the customer's always right. No, sometimes they're not. And what is the definition of a customer? Customer is one who pays. So if you have someone that's not paying you, well, then they're not a customer. Then you can deal with them differently. But today I'm going to be talking about customers and why my service rep was totally wrong in what she said to the customer. Why she got involved in that argument with the customer. That's unacceptable. Never argue with a customer. So I came up with pretty much 7 areas that you should talk to a customer when they're upset. And I tell you, an upset customer is telling you a couple things. They're telling you, first of all, that they value your company. I know it sounds strange, isn't it? Someone calling up complaining actually values your your company. Yes, they value your company. And the reason why is they're calling you to tell you how you can do better, how you can do a better job, how you can meet a need that you're not meeting, that maybe other customers see also, but see, the ones that you're losing that are not even saying anything to you, not even telling you why they're going to a competitor, you want them to complain to you because maybe you can change 1 or 2 things and make your business better if you listen without getting emotionally involved. So the first thing you need to do is you need to listen, really truthfully listen. This is what I told my customer service reps after that incident. You got to listen. Don't engage in argument. Just listen. And don't be that, oh yeah, Because I had that before where, I'm complaining about a company or a service or something, and they just kind of push me on, just let me complain to get it over with, No, you're interested in what they're saying. You want to listen to what they're saying. You want to understand what they're saying. They may have a tremendous point. You got to listen. You'll never know what they're trying to tell you, the opportunities that are out there that you might be missing because you're not listening to complaints. The next, you need to repeat what the person says. So a person says, those systems come blue only and I need red. Well, just repeat. Oh, you're interested in red? Maybe we can do that. Maybe we can get you a red one. Or whatever the situation is. Maybe you didn't know there was an opportunity to sell red data equipment. I don't know. Just using that as an example. Please bear with me. The third thing is never overreact. Don't overreact and turn around and say, well, that's unacceptable. You want red. We only have blue. That's tough. No, don't overreact. Just stay calm. And then fourth, realize they may be right. If they're complaining about your service, you were supposed to be out here at 10 o'clock and now it's 10:30 and I'm looking for your guy. I've been hanging around. I got other opportunities out there. Well, maybe they're right. Why isn't your guy there at 10:30? Why are you giving a deadline at 10? We used to give, for service people that are on the road, we used to say in the morning, afternoon, maybe early morning, late afternoon, something like that, or late morning. We would never commit to a particular hour because you never know with the traffic in Southern California. There's just not enough roads out here, and it backs up easily. So remember, your customer might be right. And of course, never defend yourself. I know that sounds weird, doesn't it? Customers not looking for your excuses. They're looking for your solutions, not your excuses. When you start defending yourself, you are giving them the reason why you didn't service them. That's not what they called you for. They called you to give you brilliant ideas on how you could better serve them and how you may be able to get more customers because of the brilliant ideas they're telling you about. And I'm not being sarcastic here. This is great. These are good reasons that you may need to learn to be better, to beat your competition, to grow your business. These people complaining to you is probably the most valuable interaction you're going to have with customers. And you got to see it that way. This is something that's fantastic. Maybe you're an employee and your boss is complaining about you. Shut up and listen. He or she might be right. Take it to heart. Think about it. It might be so. But don't defend unless they ask why. Why didn't you show up at 10:30? Well, I would say, listen, there's no excuse for us not being there at 10:30 like we promised, or 10 o'clock like we promised. But there was traffic on the road today, and we should have anticipated that. So next time when I give you a certain time that we're going to be there, I will do my very best, and I will ensure that our technician is there at that time. That's how you respond to that. Always, always, always ask for suggestions. So if your customer's saying, I don't like blue, I like red. And then you can say, well, how about yellow? Do you like yellow? Do you think yellow is good? Or, what is it that you don't like about blue that you want red? You ask questions like that. Ask for suggestions. And I know this is going to really sound strange to some people, but when someone calls you and they're emotionally involved in wanting to help your business do better, that's called a complaint. That is the best time to sell them something. I'll give you an example. I had a person, and we had a T1 circuit that had a special modem on it and everything else in a person's data room. And in that data room, that T1 modem was costing about $1,500. So we went in there, and we put it in, and we said, look, on the other side of the room, you got an outlet. You can't use that outlet with your microwave and your toaster and your coffee maker and everything else because it's really going to affect your data systems. And they said, yeah. And then you know what happened? They blew up that modem, that special modem, the T1 modem. And then they called us and they said, get out here and fix it. And we went out and fixed it and everything else. And they said, well, we don't think we should have to pay for this. And I said, I understand what you're saying. I understand. I listened. I did all the 6 things that I said before. I listened. I sympathized with them. I understood what they were saying. And I said, but I can tell you why it blew up. And they said, well, why? I said, because you got the toaster, you got the coffee maker, you got the little portable oven, you got the vacuum cleaner, you got the... you name it, microwave, TV, I don't know. You got everything attached to that same circuit. You can't do that. You got to have a special circuit for the stuff in the data room. You can't have all these devices with people coming by and popping their toast in and turning the microwave on and opening up the freezer and everything else at the same time. I'm sure you blew some circuit breakers on this. And they said, yeah, we did. I said, that's what's killing a device. And I said, and he said, well, yeah, that's kind of pricey device, $1,500 and everything else. I said, yes, I know it is. And we do everything we can to keep our prices low. But I'll tell you what, this is what I think you should do. I think you need a maintenance agreement. He said, a maintenance agreement? And I said, yeah, if you had a maintenance agreement, this wouldn't cost you a penny. We'd come in there and we'd replace that equipment free of charge. And he said, whoa, I didn't think of that. I said, you got a lot of equipment in there. I said, we would replace everything in there if you got a electrical surge, free of charge. We'd come out, we'd reprogram it for free for you. And he said, well, that's a fantastic thing. I would be interested in that. I told him what the price was. He said, I think I'll do it. I said, there's one condition. And he said, what's that? I said, that you get a dedicated circuit in that room. Well, he paid for a maintenance agreement, he installed a dedicated circuit, and he paid the $1,500 for the T1 modem. And he was a happy customer. So the best time to sell a customer is when you satisfy their complaint. When you listen to them, you treat them with respect. You got to treat everybody with respect, by the way. You treat everyone with respect until they absolutely point out that they don't deserve it. You know, they're stealing from you or something like that. The next thing you need to do is you need to over-communicate. I told you this in other podcasts. You need to keep on talking and talking and talking. And especially to the complainers, because they're your buddies. They're the people that are going to help you build your business, is the complainers. So you got to communicate with them. They said they have a problem. You weren't out there fast enough. Well, the next time you send someone out there, you call them and say, did he get there yet? Did he get there yet? Call him again. When's he supposed to be there? Well, I'll call him on the cell phone. I'll find out where he's at. We'll see what's going on. I want him to be there on time. This is important. And that is the next thing you should remember when a customer complains. I hear people say, well, it's not that big of a deal, that your guy wasn't there at 10:30 when he's supposed to be there at 10 or something like that. No, that's not what you do, because the person gets madder. They don't get happier that you're trying to play down their concerns. That doesn't make them happier. What you need to do is you need to get more excited than them. So if they're a little bit annoyed, and saying, yeah, this guy's supposed to be here at 10:30, then you need to say, he's not there? Let me find out exactly where he is at. Now, I'm not talking about lying, okay, or putting on a show. I'm saying truthfully, get more excited for your customer on any issue. If they're upset, their system's down, and they say, well, when you get it, I need the guy out here whenever you can do it. And what do you mean whenever I can do it? I'm going to do it now. I'll get the person out there. We want that up and running, So you always have to be more excited than your customer, one level above. Okay, and be believable. Be really concerned for that problem. If they're upset about that problem, you should be upset about that problem, because they're the ones that pay your mortgage. They're the ones that pay for your car insurance and your payments on your car. They're the ones that put your kids in school. They're the ones that pay for your house, everything else. These are the most important people on earth to you besides your family. The most important people on earth are your customers. You got to take care of them, and you got to be more excited about a problem than they are, because that's your problem. Remember, they're paying you to solve their problems. You're not paying them to solve your problems. They're paying you to solve their problem, them being the customers. So you're paid to solve the customer's problems. That's your job. Don't complain about it. That's the way it is, especially in IT. That's the way it's always going to be in IT. You are paid to solve problems, and there is the opportunity to make money, legitimate money. I'm not saying rip people off. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying there's your opportunity to make money. I remember years ago I worked for a big corporation, and we had big phone systems and data systems and everything else, and my job was to make sure these systems were up and running. And years ago, T1 circuits were real popular. They were very expensive too, but they were popular. If you're not familiar with the T1, it was 24 circuits, analog circuits, and over a data line. And it was multiplexed. And so it was very popular because it was less expensive than having 24 analog lines coming from the phone company. So you can get this and at least have a little bit of savings. So my system was down in LAX because the T1 circuit was down. And I called up the vendor who we paid a maintenance agreement to, well over $100,000 a year to maintain this system. It was a big system again. LA is a big airport, and our portion of it was very large. So make a long story short, I called up the vendor and I said, hey, my T1's down. When can you get out there? And he said, oh, I don't know. I have to call you back. And I said, well, when? When are you going to call me back? He said, give me about 10 minutes. Then he called back. He goes, I don't think I can get there today. What do you mean you can't get there today? He said, well, I got a problem here when my technicians are tied up there, and I got a problem over here, and my technicians are tied up there, and we have this, and this technician is sick, and that one is on vacation, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, what are you talking about? I don't care about your other customers. I'm your customer. I paid you a lot of money. I don't want excuses. I don't care about this person down the street. Well, they've been waiting longer than you. I don't care how long they waited. My problem is between you and me, and I need a technician out there before I started this conversation, because we are losing a lot of sales at Burlington Air Express. That's where it was. And he said, well, that's the best I can do. You're just going to have to wait. So I said, okay, let me talk to your boss. So boss got on the line, the owner. And I said, so this is the last year we're going to have a maintenance agreement with you. And he went, whoa, why? I said, because your technician just said that he's going to break the maintenance agreement. We have a 2-hour response time. And he says he's too busy. Well, it was taken care of within 2 hours. And I'm sure the technician was upset. Now, I'm never interested in throwing anyone under the bus, especially IT people. Man, I've been under that pressure. But I'm just using this as an illustration of someone who was not interested in customers. And sometimes as technicians, that's how we get. We don't get interested in customers. We're interested in the technical problems. You're interested in your problems, not necessarily the customers. So you make all the cables look great and everything else, and every data guy goes in that room and says, wow, man, that really looks good. And the customer doesn't care, okay? Now, you're professional, you did it right. That's great, but you didn't do it on time? That's not good. So remember this. You cannot forget this. Customers are the second most important group of people in your life. The first group being your family. The second group is customers. You take care of your customers first. Your vendors are later on down the road. And I'm going to be honest with you, your employees aren't as important as your customers. Okay? Don't forget who pays your mortgage. It's the customers. That's the person who puts gas in your car and takes care of your kids and gives you a vacation. That's the person that helps you. If you're an employee, that's the person who gets you promoted. That's the person who gets you raises. It's the customer. Always treat the customer with respect, even if the customer doesn't deserve it. The 7 things, once again, listen honestly. Repeat what the customer has said. Don't overreact. Stay emotionally out of it at that point. They may be right. That's number 4. Number 5 is don't defend your company. Okay? Number 6 is ask for suggestions. Maybe they have great suggestions. Number 7 is sell. Always sell. That's the best time to sell. Maintenance agreements. That's the best time to sell them to, from the silver plan to the gold to the platinum plan. That will help them. It's going to help you. Okay? And, the best thing to do is when someone complains, assume it's your fault first. Assume it's your fault. Never give excuses. Take responsibility. Thank you for listening. This is Jim with Business Sense. Hope you have a great day.